Man, I don't know why, but I can't help but to think that in almost any situation, my sexist self is always proven to be right. The ideologies and beliefs that I have about the differences between how us as male specimen and the female specimen interact and interpret the world and act are just confirmed to be true. Really, when you think about female nature, man, at times it can be very painful. I'm having these thoughts and I'm just thinking about how sometimes I'm so convinced that I don't think in the future I'm really going to be looking for any woman to marry or anything of that nature, because I'm just thinking of how female nature, especially the modern day ladies, they are so self-centered and they are so self-absorbed and careless and just don't give a fuck, really, when you think about it, about how the world really works and what's really going on. You know, the reason why I'm saying that is because, number one, I always say and I always believe that you must stay competing as a man and as a woman, especially in the dating and the sex market. The reason why I'm saying that it is because I personally don't appreciate results that are unacceptable or results that are not exciting, or dealing with the person that is not arousing, if I can put it that way, or dealing with the person that behaves a certain manner, whereas there are other people who can behave in the best manner. Right? I always compare myself with other men in terms of the way I talk, the way I dress, the things that I achieve, the way I live my life, my habits, and all of that. I always live in a comparison world. And of course, as you might know, that they say comparison is a thief of joy. How would I have my joy stolen than for me to be content with being a weak individual and not a performing individual of no status, an individual of no name? That hurts me the most than being hurt by the fact that other men are doing better than me. That's what I like. That's the motivation. That's the pain that I like, right? So I don't think females live like that. I don't think women, especially the modern day, I don't think most of them compare all the aspects of their lives to other women. It's easy for them to compare beauty. To say, oh, this girl, I think she's more pretty than me. And then they just park it right there. They don't compare if this girl has a way of behavior and a way of character that makes her look more classy or more of a lady than just a random street girl or anything of that nature. You see what I'm saying? They don't compare whether they are manners, the way they talk, the way they behave, the way they engage with men or any other people makes them presentable, right? They don't think how they act and how they do things has an impact on how they are treated. And so they just act anyhow, talk anyhow, and say, this is who I am, accept me as I am. And really, that's not how the real world works. So I'm just comparing that on its own to say females are not competitive. How can you allow yourself to be shapeless like that or to lose shape like that, knowing that there are women who are maintaining their shape or at least taking care of themselves physically, ensuring that they eat well and making sure that they still remain beautiful? How do you accept to be worded or be dated by one of the best men out there if you don't treat yourself as one of the best girls that can be? You just accept situations to happen on yourself. You just eat anyhow, gain weight, lose shape, and then expect to be dated by the best man that is there. I just don't understand that. I'm coming from that position and that perspective of life where I had nothing comparatively in terms of external resources. And I realized that I had to work myself, I have to work on myself rather, get to a certain position of self-esteem and get to a certain position of resources for me to be able to date certain women, right? But females don't clock that. It doesn't clock to them that they need to maintain themselves, maintain their value to make sure that they're able to at least attract the best man that it can be. I mean, your job really is just to maintain the value God has given to you already. He has given to you the beauty. He has given to you the physique or body type, and yours is just to maintain that, right? Whereas I, as a man, there are things, of course, that God has given to me. It can be the height, it can be the physical structure, the way I'm built, it can be the voice, it can be the facial hair, it can be a lot of things. But the ones that matters the most, it's going to be the ones that I have to work for, which is going to be resources and self-esteem, right? So that's just point number one, to say females are not living in a comparison or a competitive world. They're only just maybe limited to beauty. And some don't even give a fuck about beauty anymore, especially the ones that are working. They can be so comfortable with just looking anyhow and thinking that because they have a good career going on for themselves, they're going to attract the best man out there. That's just doesn't how it works. And it pisses me off to a degree whenever I think about it. And then you also have the other ones who are only comparing and competing in terms of physical beauty only and forget about their morals, character, and personality, which makes them worth living and being around. And then as a result, you're just going to get sex zoned, right? So you just have two problems. One problem is low moral standards, low and unacceptable personality and behavior, but very beautiful. Sex zone that shit. On the other hand, you have wife-worthy, high moral standards, but she doesn't take care of herself physically, and as a result, she just looks horrible, and she's not arousing, and she's no longer attractive to you. My goodness. But not only that, but what I think about is how selfish women are really. When I think about it, they're just so self-centered, choose themselves all the time. And really, when you look at you like, shit, you guys are just evil by nature, you know. So I think the sooner you accept that as a man, the better. When you think about how females are so self-centered, so selfish, so loyal to themselves. If she doesn't feel like it, she's not gonna do it. She's not gonna do it. That's just the principle. And right now, it's even worse. You can barely get any value from any female. You can just barely get any. They are no longer raised to cook the best meals. They are no longer raised to be respectful and sort of, what's the word, to be agreeable when dealing with men. They're just raised to just take care of themselves and their careers. And as a result, they become the man that they desire to be, or that they're attracted to, rather. And so I'm just looking at that, man. And females would always choose themselves all the time. And it's very important and imperative for a man, therefore, to always note that and just know that this is their nature, whatever you do for her. Because, I mean, we are giving by nature. Even when you look at it biologically, we are supposed to give to females our seed so that they can be the next life, so that the human race can continue in the future of the world. We just built to give, just give resources as well, right? It's just how we are built. But do not expect the same from a female. She's not built like that. She's built to take and not to give. When you give, or you give in a form of taking care of a lady that you genuinely like, you don't do that because you're trying to make her happy. You do that because this is who you are as a man or as a young man. You're built to give. You're built to take care. You're built to protect. You're built to provide. Not because you're trying to make her happy, because this is your duty as a male specimen. In that manner, when you don't receive or reciprocate any form of appreciation or any form of just decent listening from a sister, you just know that this is just the way it is. This is just the way it is. And it pains so much that it makes me think that I guess I'm not going to walk around looking for a wife in the future anytime soon. I'm just going to walk around like an angry, roaring lion, just looking for baby mamas, basically. And it's just the situation you find yourself in because of the pain on how modern female specimen just are in the way they just operate, right? I don't know. It's been a whole 9-minute video that I've just made right now, just purely venting from my heart and from my soul. And really, man, I feel good now. I feel good. At least I had it on tape. So, next time.